Hi, I'm Meaghan Chitwood, and welcome to From Overlooked to Consistently Booked. I help sales professionals and business owners build strong, effective referral networks so that they do not have to chase business because it comes to them. Each week, we break down what actually makes people refer you, trust you, and talk about you. And this week, we are talking about how to network at Brock's business, specifically with EOS. So welcome back again.
Thank you.
Yeah. So you very much have this structured of EOS that you apply, I'm going to say just probably naturally to everything at this point, I would bet. So did you apply some of these concepts to where you decide the networks are that is worth spending your time and which ones are not worth spending your time?
So I have an L10 meeting with myself every Monday morning, by the way, just to kind of what's working, what's not
and your
working.
business is you.
Yeah, and my business is me. Now,
and you have your own L10 meeting.
Yes.
Oh, fantastic. I'd love to hear more about this.
I just hired an assistant, so she's with me now, but I've been doing them by myself just so I can IDS my own issues and what networking groups are working, what are not working, what am I trying that's working and not. So when I'm looking at a group, because a lot of people go out and network, they'll go to chamber meetings or they'll go to whatever else is out there, any group that's out there just to get out, but you can talk and tell about your business to 1,000 people, but if they're not your customer or your ideal customer, you're spinning your wheels. And so I really have to evaluate where am I going, who's going to be there, and I'll ask the questions. If somebody invites me to an event, it's like, what kind of people typically come? Are they business owners? Are they the salesperson? What type of businesses? And so whether it's a BNI chapter that you're going to or somewhere else, you just really got to dig in and see who's going to those events and are they people you want to be talking to?
That's a really interesting point because I love asking the question, where's my customer hanging out so I can conveniently bump into them, right?
Right.
So, and I think everybody needs to ask that question, like where are the people? Because you can network for prospecting for your business for sure and getting to know those folks and get started. And then I think B&I is slightly different because, those people are ones you're thinking about selling through as opposed to selling to.
Right.
So it's kind of two ultimately really different strategies.
It is. That's a good point. So the people in a B&I chapter, are they serving my target market? Yes. Right. Are those people, because I've been to some chapters visiting where they're really heavily B2C focused. Which is always good to visit, sub for people, get your name out there some, but that's not where I want to spend every week. Yeah. I want to spend every week getting to know the people who are serving my ideal customer because they're the ones who are going to run into them. They're going to just bump into them at random events that they're going to.
Yeah. And remind us again who you feel like your ideal customer is.
So our ideal customer is a business owner who is growth oriented. They want to grow. They're open-minded. Willing to be open and honest with themselves, their team, frustrated, and want help. 10 to 250 employees.
So easy question, how's business going? And if they open up the floodgates of how frustrating it is.
And that's the question I typically tell my chapter to ask is an easy question that's non-invasive is, hey, how's business?
Yeah.
And if they just give a surface level answer, fine. But if they say any frustration, say, do you know Brock?
Yeah. Well, I'd follow up with how many employees do you have?
Right.
Do the calculation. All right. Yes.
Yeah.
Do you know Brock?
Right.
Just to know that it is the target.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because I think the team tends to add the most frustration to things when, when you're trying to figure out how do I ultimately make the business grow.
Yeah. Because you pay these people for something, and if they're not doing what you want or the way you would do it, or you don't have the system to help them get there, then it gets frustrating.
Yeah. So where are places that you network?
So I network at the Birmingham Business Alliance. There's a lot of good people there that are my target market.
And remind everyone what Business Alliance is.
So the Birmingham Business Alliance is the Birmingham Chamber, but it's also just an entire organization that's focused on helping small businesses grow. So they tend to surround themselves with those kind of people. Victor Brown is there, and he's a phenomenal connector. Yes. So. And then I host my own common grounds is what I call it. It's at the Donut Shop where I just invite business owners to come and network, and we dig into problems a little bit together and just network a little bit. And then I will typically find different places. Speaking engagements, I try to do that because that's typically good for me. It gives me a good place to network. And then EOS hosts 2 events per year where we just invite business owners and clients to come and network and socialize. Sometimes we'll do breakout sessions or panels, things like that. But those are typically my main places.
And how have you been able to measure what's working for you and what's not working for you as you've gone through that?
So my EOS scorecard is very simple, but my sales coach has me do a much more in-depth scorecard so I can see where things are coming from, like where am I actually getting results from. And so B&I is one of my main legs of my business development because that's the most networking. They connect me. You guys connect me with the most people. But then that's really, so how many conversations am I having? If I go to that event, I just track how many good conversations that I have with target market prospects. Whether they go anywhere from there or not doesn't necessarily matter, but how many conversations am I having with target market prospects? If I keep having those, eventually the prospects and clients will come. So trying to figure out, really that's my main indicator is how many of those conversations is a networking event bringing me.
I love the ripple effect that has because at some point in time, like you said, somebody will say, hey, you need to call Brock because you sound really frustrated, right? But it is because every one of those conversations ends up rippling even further, either towards your target audience or somebody who's going to bump into your target audience and really know that as well. So I guess let's dig in a little bit more to how were you able to find out if people in your chapter actually were having conversations or solving things for your target audience as well? How did you identify that?
Whether they're serving mine?
Yes.
So I went after who they are. So I went through each member of the chapter, and there were about 30 at the time, and just saw what company. So I looked up the company. I looked who their target market was. Sometimes I would call the member, say, hey, I'm looking at joining the chapter. Just wanted to talk a little bit about your company, what you do, who do you serve? I did a little pre-work to make sure that, because you're going to spend a lot of time there. Yeah. And so if it's the right people, I would love to spend the time there.
Yes.
Because I know that they're serving my target market. But there was a commercial banker, commercial real estate agent, the accountant, like all those people naturally target my target market.
Yeah. And I think that's probably one of the things that people don't actually do effectively for themselves. Yeah. One is to figure out who their target market is. And then 2 was to say, who else serves those people? Who else? Did you just intuitively know that's what you needed to do? Or is that something you learned along the way?
Trial and error, mistakes, going into too many things that don't produce anything. So I knew B&I was a time commitment. And so I really wanted to dig in and make sure that this was good. Because, again, I'd been warned that B&I is typically not a good use of time for EOS implementers. Yeah. But I also knew what the difference was for the person it was successful for. So I wanted to dig in with that. And really, y'all did a moment where y'all helped each chapter figure out their target market, which was super helpful because most people don't think about that. Yeah,
that is not a typical thing that every region gets. It is one of the things because I knew, and I know if everyone knows their target market and is specific, it's going to help all of you as well. But honestly, it's going to help our new members because they're going to be able to feel like they can contribute faster. Yeah. Because when you say, hey, I want to meet XYZ person, you're like, oh, I know that person. Then it's like, okay, how do I make that introduction? Yeah. But I think that's the biggest challenge. We're actually going to talk about that next month or we talked about that 2 months ago, and just identifying who that person is, because when you really identify who that target audience is and you can talk to them, you're just super clear on what that messaging is.
And 2, it helps you keep from getting upset when somebody, so for example, for me, if I talk to a business owner that's got 2 or 3 employees, I might want a client, but I don't get upset if that person says, yeah, that's not for me. They're not really my target market.
Yes.
So knowing who's not your target market sometimes is just as important, so that you're not really trying to engage a whole lot of time with that person or spend a whole lot of time with that person because they're really not your target market.
Yeah. And one of the things I love talking about is because that person, if they're not your target market, 1, they might not become repeat business for you. And then 2, they probably aren't going to refer you because of whatever tiny little piece is. Yeah. So you end up chasing things that aren't, when you think about the real long game, having your perfect target market is going to turn into referrals. It's going to turn into repeat business on a continuous basis.
And help you know what networking groups to go to.
Yeah, ultimately.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And then just, if you've got nailed the customer, like in my case, we really appreciated what was happening. I shared it with a room full of executive directors, and then you ended up helping a lot of that. Right. And I think we're going to have round 2 next time around. I just think that. So if a business owner is trying to figure out, I want to talk a little bit more about the IDS real quick, because I think that's a place where I am a natural problem solver. I have an engineering background, right? It's just like, that's what I was trained to do, is solve problems. Right. But I don't know that people are trained to solve problems. They feel the frustration, but they don't have that tool to be like, now what do I do with it?
Well, and even great leadership teams just struggle to solve problems. And I'm sure you've been in them. I've been in them, where you're in a meeting with a group of people and you're trying to solve problems, and everybody just picks a topic and just discuss and discuss and discuss. And you may do that to 2 or 3 different issues, but nobody really identifies the root cause of that problem.
Yes.
And rarely do we walk out with a clear plan of action to make it go away. And so things just, that's a problem. Yeah, that should happen, but nobody takes accountability to make it go away. And so that IDS process is designed to help teams just get better at solving problems that actually make them go away. Digging into that, identifying what is the root cause of that problem, because what's on your issues list is usually a symptom.
Yeah.
So what's causing that to happen? And then giving everybody a chance to discuss it and get their thoughts and opinions out, so everybody feels heard, their voice has been, they've shared what they think, and then coming up with a solution. And usually means somebody's got an item on their to-do list they've got to go accomplish and make that issue go away.
Yeah. I've gotten really annoying since learning that tool, because my question is, what problem are we trying to solve? Let me make sure it's actually a problem first before we actually really talk about it. And I say annoying, not within my own business, but I've been using it with my sister's business that I've held. It's like, what problem are we trying to solve? Well, that's not going to do it. Let's talk about other options as well. But I think people getting to the point where they can problem solve, then you can just pull away the noise, and you can focus on what actually really is going to ultimately work. And
even as EOS implementers, we get together once a quarter just locally, and IDS issues that we're having just in business development or clients or things like that. And sometimes we do the same thing. We had a 10-minute discussion around an issue, and somebody goes, is this really a problem? And everybody agreed it wasn't. Then we moved on.
How many times does this actually happen?
I know.
Yeah.
If this has only happened once or twice in 2 years, it's not an issue.
No, we'll just call it an anomaly and move on.
Right.
Yeah, excellent. Well, we are so lucky that we've got one more episode with you coming up, which is really exciting. So tune in for that, and look forward to having one more segment of conversation with you. Just remember, referrals don't come from chasing, they come from connecting. And when you build the right network, business flows. So if this was helpful, subscribe for more conversations just like this. And if you're ready to grow through referrals, you are welcome to check out a BNI chapter near you by visiting bni.com. See you next time.